whatever you attract, the people, experiences, opportunities, they're a reflection of your heart. Alright, so this video is called The Truth About Healing Abroad. The truth about healing abroad. So now I'm in this mindset of where I really believe that moving abroad and living abroad for an extended amount of time, 1 month to 1 year plus, I see it as a recipe for extreme growth, extreme healing. And so there are a couple reasons why. And the first reason is just being a stranger in a strange land. It's like when you're forced to go somewhere where you're uncomfortable, you almost get exposed. And not exposed from the outside world, but you get exposed internally. You learn who you really are when no one's looking. When you're a complete stranger in a strange land and you have the opportunity to create whatever reality that you want to create, you really learn what's in your heart, because your external world, whatever you attract, the people, experiences, opportunities, they're a reflection of your heart. And so when you're alone abroad, family's not near, close is not near, it could be a bit intimidating, but it's all about your perspective. And so that's why I say healing abroad is important, because when you really go abroad with the mindset of, hey, I know I'm going to be uncomfortable, I know I'm going to be in situations that I've never been in before, but my goal, my desire is to heal. And when you set that as your intention, it's extremely powerful. And the process of healing, it's not linear, for one, but it is something that you have to be intentional about. And so I want to talk about my healing journey and what that has looked like for me abroad specifically. And so when I first moved abroad, about 4 years ago, I had already been on my healing journey. I had been going to therapy for 2 years. I had known kind of the foundations of my trauma that then led to addiction, led to, just feeling hurt and hurting other people. Like, I knew what the foundations of it was, but I also didn't take the initiative to go ahead and address it. I didn't address the people that I need to address. I didn't do the violent action that I need to do. And when I say violent action, I mean just extreme, like, for example, cutting out sex completely until marriage. That's what I consider a violent action, because it's something very intense, especially when you struggled, almost addicted to, that. So that's a violent action. So anyway, I wasn't taking any intense action, any massive action around my healing journey when I first arrived abroad. And so it was almost like I put a Band-Aid over my wound. And I was able to go about life living abroad, had a lot of fun, met a lot of people. But then I knew I needed to make a change when I discovered the patterns. And so there were patterns that I had continuously went down. I was meeting similar spirits. I was finding myself in similar situations. And there wasn't a shift in my actions. I was having these patterns but making the same decisions, doing the same things and getting the same results. And the results were hurting myself, feeling less than, feeling disappointed at myself, and then also hurting other people, right? And once I saw this pattern happening abroad, I really had to take a step back, because it's one thing when you find yourself in a pattern and you're just in your home country, and it's easy to get caught in a pattern when you're in your home country and everybody's speaking the same language, you're comfortable in your environment, you have the same type of routine, same crowd. But then when you're in a totally different place, when you're starting completely over and you're finding yourself in similar patterns with foreigners, then that's when you know who you really are. And you can either accept that and be happy about it, or you can see it as a reason to change and the necessary action. So for me, I did the latter. I saw this opportunity to change. So the first thing I did was change my environment. So I was in Paris first and lived in Paris for 2.5 years. And that's when I saw the patterns happening. I was intentional about that. I saw the patterns clearly. And so I said, okay, I need to just move and leave Paris completely and go somewhere that is more peaceful. So that's when I moved from Paris to Annecy, which is where I'm at now. I'm actually in a town called Seville. It's close to Annecy, but in France. And you can see it's a totally different vibe from Paris. It's a place that's quiet. It's a place with a beautiful landscape. And it's a place where, for me, I'm able to just sit with myself and not feel like I need anybody. I don't need any external force. I don't need any person to feel any type of way. I can just be with myself and think in a peaceful environment. And that's one of the important parts of healing that I didn't really embrace, is that a lot of times, sometimes healing happens in isolation, right? It happens when you detach from patterns, detach from people, detach from habits, and you just sit with yourself and allow yourself to feel everything. Just sit with all your feelings. And you sit with it, because in those moments when you sit with your feelings, that's where growth happens. That's where wisdom happens, because there's wisdom to be found in solitude and in lessons, right? There's wisdom to be found in mistakes, and there's wisdom to be found in emotions. That's the main thing I want to say. And the faster that you can get that wisdom and learn from it, the faster you can move on. And that's why most of the time women develop emotionally faster than men. It's because of their biological makeup, but it's also because women allow themselves naturally to feel emotions more than men do. Men like to hide emotions because that's what we were taught as men. We were taught that emotions are weak. We were taught that men, shouldn't have emotions. But neglecting your emotions is neglecting your wisdom, right? So a lot of times it comes to the point where men has to reach a breaking point for them to learn and grow and heal from their mistakes rooted in their emotions. So that's the second revelation about healing abroad, learning emotions. And then the third one is just the power of forgiveness. I think I'm now finally at the point where I really forgive myself. I forgive myself for my past. I forgive myself for the wrong that I've done. And I forgive myself for everything. For everything. So now I'm at a place where I can emotionally just move forward without any type of regret, without any skeletons in my closet, if you will, without any shadows looking down on me. I feel healed. I feel made new. And that happened because of this journey abroad. And it's been 3 years. And it takes some men 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years to heal. And I'm grateful that I've been able to have this type of exponential healing growth in 3 years because of everything that I named before in this video. So, that's my take on healing abroad and the truth about healing abroad as an African American male in my 20s, entrepreneur, visionary, builder, and all of that, man of God, first and foremost. So that's my revelation, the truth about healing abroad. Yeah.